Today's autotherapy topic, the connection between the idea of death, the idea of failure, and the action, if you will, of doubting yourself. This cluster of human behaviors it's like a triad. In my life, at least, these three things feed off of each other in a very, very subtle way. I think one of the first things that really alerted me, to any of these types of connections was the work of Alan Watts, because he has a rare gift to highlight these things and just use language to articulate these really incredible relationships. He discusses how humanity is existing in this dimension of duality consciousness, I should say, of polarity consciousness, in which that's just the modality we use to perceive the world, and so we absorb it through this lens of everything is, and I mean, so much of it has to do with our culture, but essentially we absorb it through this lens of everything is either good or bad. Every individual little nodule of reality, of experience that goes into our memory is in some way, by most people, labeled good or bad. An out-of-control mental monologue that I think really, the reason that, I don't know how many other people struggle with this, I assume a lot, the reason we get stuck, I think, in these loops of thought is because we are always using, let's call it a part of our mind, this part of your mind. It just labels things. And there's two sort of ways of coming at this. There's the idea of straight up polarity consciousness, wherein there's only one or the other, good or bad. And I mean, that's an extremely limiting filter. But then there's also the survival value, or whatever, social value. It's the cost-benefit analysis. It's like that figure that gets assigned to every little crumb of your experience. You're sort of, okay, and I'm judging that, and let's see, and but if I do this. Polarity consciousness, it applies really to both death versus life, and failure versus success. Because in a way, those are the way that our society at least has absorbed them. By far not all cultures viewed death the way that we do, spoiler alert. But while we're alive, what's the win condition that can happen many times during life? Because we're in this strange gray area, humans, I think, where because we carry these unconscious behaviors, and assumptions that we have stuffed away and lumped deep into our being, and they sort of inform the way that our subconscious makes us behave and move through the world, and we kind of half-ass looking at it sometimes, but we don't really, because in Western society we're so, I find in the United States, it's so, oh, what is it? Oh, been there, done that, okay, next thing, and it's social media, and everybody's frictionless, nothing, everything, we're so overloaded and flooded with novelty and the neurochemical cocktail that is physiologically associated with the brain or the mind perceiving novelty. He describes the patterns and behaviors that tend to be at work in most people in Western society.